play the lab challenge.
That's where you have to...
Where you have to develop the gear in the lab before you discover them. So it's like an extra step you have to do.
Okay.
Sure. I'm assuming this is the lab.
Yeah, there's... Yeah.
And there's like steps you have to do.
Right.
Like you have
so
to collect
I don't think we're going to use the
disease.
purple ones.
Okay. Goodbye.
That's only if you're doing...
Seems like there'd be more purple cubes.
That's only if you're doing the mutation or bioterrorist challenge.
Wow.
Ooh, bioterrorist challenge.
Which I don't even see bioterrorist in here. That must be in a different expansion.
Maybe.
Okay, so set up the game normally, except place the lab board next to the game board. Put the 5 petri dishes on the 5 circles. Petri dishes. I don't have petri dishes.
Well, Mark's got those. What are those?
Petri dishes? They should be big. Something else in this box?
Well, there's something in here, but I don't know where it is. I already unpacked everything in this box. But there is, like, room for something.
Oh my god, we got gypped!
Well,
This was still wrapped. We're missing the 5 circles.
Is there anything under?
does that come with this, or is it a different expansion?
This is the box in the lab.
I know.
It was still wrapped. There's all those circles. They're
Does
empty.
it say it comes with?
That's what I'm saying. Is maybe
Another expansion.
the box is set up
Maybe
to...
they're in, like, state of emergency or
Or like if you...
How crappy would it be, though, if you needed to buy 2 expansions to be able to play this one?
Yeah. I guess it's not listed on here.
Components.
I guess it's
Roll
not
card,
listed on here.
Clear vials. I do not see anything about petri dishes.
So maybe... Can we still play it?
Well, if it's 5 petri dishes or 4.
1 for each circle.
Well, I mean, you just put them in the circle. Right?
So we could use anything.
So these might be petri dishes.
Yeah, those could be the petri dishes.
Maybe the petri dishes are just
Put
pre-printed
the
out.
5 petri dishes on the 5 circles.
Well, there's no way that they would have had 5 petri dishes here.
Huh. 1, 2, 3,
Oh,
4,
yeah.
5.
Yeah,
Interesting.
But it's not listed
it's not listed in the contents.
in the contents.
Huh.
Stupid lab people.
Learn to count.
Okay, I have no idea. I guess it's weird.
Well, I
Come on, where are your just petri dishes that you keep at home?
Well, I mean, I do have that soap,
soap.
but that's only...
I mean, I think it's just to contain them.
yeah,
so
I think it's just to make it more fun. But like they would go on here, and that's where you're putting stuff on there. So
unless it's like DLC, you have to buy it.
right.
That's so weird, though. It's so weird. Okay, shuffle the sequence cards. Place this draw pile next to the lab board. Draw a sequence card and put it face up on the upper sequence space. So the sequence cards are with this, with like molecules on them. Sequence cards.
No, this is the opposite of plaguing. Plaguing is where you're trying to take on the world. This is where you're trying to just save.
Unless we're playing with the bioterrorist expansion, which we are not.
Right, Lisa. What are we gonna do? Okay.
Shuffle the sequence cards. Place this draw pile next to the lab board. Draw a sequence card and put it face up in the upper sequence space.
Maybe that like there's extra, essentially DLC, or you could like.
What is DLC?
Downloadable content.
So like you pay a little extra for like extra stuff in the game. So the base game, to make it cheaper, it doesn't come with all this stuff, but then you can buy separately
Okay, Google.
Like cool meeples or.
Yeah.
I would imagine one
in the
expansion
lab
comes with a
petri dishes.
petri dishes. Would be my guess. But why they have spots for it, that
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
Substitute
It's
the cure vials,
Supposedly on the brink has the petri dishes.
which we have.
Well, there you go.
Supposedly.
That's silly. Substitute the cure vials for the cure markers. So we're not going to use these, apparently.
Substitute the cure vials for the cure markers. So instead of the cure markers.
These are the cure vials. So
Yeah, so we use those instead of the cure markers. Okay?
substitute the cure vials for the cure markers.
That's weird.
Good.
So instead of using red cure
It's
and
Give
why
each-
comes with both of them then, I don't know.
Give each player a lab actions reference card.
How silly is it though? And then
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
that one.
So this is an
They
extra
must
card.
both use petri dishes.
Do not use the field operative role. Field director?
La 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 la.
Pandemic's good. Good stuff.
Field director role? I guess.
I want to make a joke, but I don't know if
I
it'll
guess.
offend your viewers, so I won't.
Okay.
So then you do it. If you don't think it'll.
I was gonna just say, is Pandemic manufactured by like something Trump, but
Oh.
like Trump Industries, but it might get a little
CDC.
too late. I already said it.
No, you said you might if you. Hey Milo. Everyone loves Milo. Milo
Oh,
for
sure.
president.
Field director. No.
Use
Okay.
the
that's
lab
on, yeah.
versions of epidemiologist and researcher only
I
when
don't
playing
think
the
I want
lab
to play with
challenge.
field director.
Use the CDC role only in solo play, so that's not applicable.
So do we not use any original Pandemic rules?
No, we do, I think. No, I'm just set up the game normally, except do these things. Do not use. So the epidemiologists and researchers we're not going to use from the base game. They get replaced with these updated ones.
Oh, okay.
Should Harem get PlayStation Plus? I know what that is, so you guys have to weigh in.
Start a poll. Should Hero get
That's not the
PlayStation
portable.
I don't know what PlayStation Plus is. What is it? And then we'll tell you if we should get it.
So
Well,
in this
Oh, is that the subscription for PlayStation?
in this challenge, before a player can discover a
never
cure,
owned a
the
PlayStation.
disease must first be characterized and sequenced and its cure tested using lab actions to do so. So this is sequencing, characterizing, and then testing. So
This is cool. This is like whenever we play medieval games and you're like, I don't even know what tapping or
yeah,
like all this crap is.
isn't
and
it
then,
fun?
And then I'll be like, I don't understand sequencing and like
Two
everything else.
cures
you just
can
said.
be worked on in one.
It's like when we say tap it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Two cures can be worked on at once in separate research lines. So
Ah.
top and bottom. So each sequence card shows a disease's structure. So that's this card.
I assume that's relevant.
Characterize a disease lab action. Determines which disease is being cured. So I guess you pick one of these colors. Cubes must then be moved onto the card using process a sample lab actions. This is so fun. To fill each spot on it. 1 cube per spot. So you'd have to fill in 4 red cubes and a blue and a black.
Okay.
Gray spots are filled by cubes of the cure color. So you'd like say this is going to be curing yellow. You have to fill in 4 red,
A
blue and black, and 2 yellow.
Wow, we're gonna lose. Okay, go ahead.
How do we get
I don't know.
I think the
It's
Yeah.
probably like an action. Like instead of sampling, you probably like
as you cure
Cubes
it or
enter
treat
the
it?
lab
like as
board.
you treat it, you collect samples of the.
Cubes enter the lab board as samples from treat disease actions
Yeah.
in the 2 leftmost dishes before being processed.
Okay.
So play. Take turns as in the base game. Some actions are done differently as noted below. Lab actions must be done at research stations. Any research station can be used. So in order to do any of this stuff, you have to be at a research station.
Okay.
So you can build a research station. When you build it, the person who builds it can do 1 lab action for free.
She starts digging under the fence in a minute. Pretty well reinforced, but
Don't bark at the neighbor.
So when you treat a disease, 1 cube that's removed can be put
hey Milo, before you jump all over that stuff, what was that?
in either of the 2 sample dishes instead of the supply.
I know, Ashes, they won't pet you. I know, you're so sad.
Characterize the
He's
disease.
just like,
Now they're gonna make a scene.
City card on a character.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I'll show you the fence.
Secure color for this research line. This color must match a bio.
they're not
Symbol
impressed.
shown on the sequence card.
I don't know that guys. Usually she'll come over better.
With this color is cured by.
But she's like trying to figure out how to push over the fence.
Must be characterized before cubes can be moved to.
That's where she used to push under.
Card.
Miles just like, okay, I'm bored.
So I would say, Harem, if you can afford it,
Research lines.
go ahead and sign up, give it a try. Because I'm assuming if you don't like it, you could just cancel.
Secure bio.
But that's just knowing nothing about what the service is.
I'm a PC person, so I don't really
Yeah.
do console stuff, so I'm not the one to ask.
Sequence card.
Yeah, if it's that much, I'd probably.
Yeah, that's a
sign
lot.
up.
Just
That's a lot.
And that's even more than US money, I think.
It is.
So no.
Miracle! There you go, Ashley.
Watch Milo jump the fence.
Process a sample works differently based on dish moved from and the arrow moved along. With all
Oh,
yeah.
sample
He's
dish
thinking
to
about
the
it.
center
Like you're
of
petting,
each dish.
you're petting.
We
Our,
should
our dogs are outside. Say hi to the neighbors.
We should just like have a dog cam.
Yeah, that's what the first.
If I could support more USB devices, we would.
Just
No.
always have it
One
be
cube
streaming.
of each
the dog
color
cam.
Yeah.
present in it and return the rest to the supply. Cubes are in these
Then get
dishes.
those electronically controlled toys that they have. That's something you
Cubes
can
into
decide.
the centrifugal square dish to the growth dish.
Well, I don't know if I can technically stream just the dogs on either platform.
Cubes from the supply. Cubes on
Why?
the
They're playing games. Just throw a toy in the screen.
I don't know.
You can't place
As they're only part of it.
Yeah. I guess. Right. Yeah. I was thinking about having like, while I play games, have a dog cam because I'm sleeping in there or whatever. But
Just put a GoPro on like Ashes on their collar, do a split
Yeah.
screen. This is Milo's point of view.
hope you understand everything. I can't hear what you're saying.
Well, nobody was listening
No,
to what I was
I was-
saying, so I stopped reading it out loud.
Okay.
I got lost.
I just
in
want to respond to
sequence.
chat real quick. I mean, I was listening. I didn't really understand
No,
what you were saying.
everybody else was talking over what
Oh.
I was saying, so
Okay.
I stopped reading it out loud.
Okay.
We don't have to play it.
No, we can play it. I just, as long as you understand it and you're able to walk us through it.
Sort of understanding it, but
Okay.
so there's extra actions basically that you can do in addition to the base actions, and that's how you do all of this other stuff.
But you
Okay.
have to be at a research station to do it.
So you can build a research, yeah. So you have to be
Characterize a disease.
You have to be at a research station to do any of the lab actions on that side of your card.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Place one city card.
Characterizing a disease is where you have to have a city card. I don't know where you get the city cards though.
It's just like the normal
It's
draw.
like
I guess
regular,
out of your
yeah.
hand.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
draw them.
And whatever color that city is, that's how you decide what color this is going to be. If you play a red city, this becomes red.
Okay.
But it has to be one of these colors in this. Not every card has every color
Sure.
here.
Okay.
So if it only has red and yellow,
It can
that
only be
can
one of
only
those.
cure red and yellow.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do that before you can start putting anything in here.
Okay.
So we have to
Yeah, you have to know what
distinguish
you're
it
building
first.
towards.
Process a sample. So when you treat a disease like normal, you cure a city, you treat a thing, you can put one of the cubes that you took out of there into one of these two petri dishes.
Okay.
Okay. It doesn't matter really which one you put it into, but this is like two pools of
Tested.
things.
Can multiple? I'm assuming only one color can be in a petri
Can
dish.
be anything. Can be in these.
Okay.
Okay. But
Super.
then processing a sample is moving cubes from one petri dish following an arrow to a different dish.
And you need one
But
of
they
each
do
or
different things.
5 black.
So if you move from this to this, that arrow tells you that only one cube of every color can go to this dish.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's 3 reds, only one goes here.
Mm-hmm.
The other 2 go back to the supply.
Mm-hmm.
If you move along one of these arrows to the centrifuge, that says only one color can go to this dish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This means they double if you put them into this dish. Anything you're moving here gets doubled by the supply.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have enough to double it, you lose the game. So don't try to put anything here if you don't have enough to double it.
Okay.
And then they have to, you have to move it all from here in order to then move it either into
Well,
here.
you can move it from here to here
Oh, yeah.
or here. So you
Okay.
don't have to double it.
Okay.
When you move from here to here, you're going to pick one of these 2 to put them on. You put all the ones that can apply. Anything else goes to the supply.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Testing a cure action. I haven't read this for yet. Play a city card of the cure color on a research line's test space. So you have to have a second city card of that color. This research line sequence card must have at least 1 cube on it. Remove 1 cube of the cure color from any city to the supply. Okay. So testing a cure, you'd have to have another city card of that color, red. In order to put one to test it, you have to have at least 1 cube on this. You can't test it if you haven't built anything yet, I guess.
But don't you need all the cubes at once? You can't.
No, it says this research line sequence card must have at least 1 cube on it. It doesn't say necessarily that. Oh, because that's just testing it. That's not like actually discovering it. So you can, I guess, test it before it's completed.
Okay.
What does that give you? I guess.
Testing it, you
There's
can
ones.
remove 1 cube of the cure color from any city into
Oh.
the supply. So it's like,
So, like
If you can't
preventing
get
an
over there,
outbreak.
Yeah.
if you can't get over there, you
discovering a cure if a research line is complete. So it's been characterized. You have to test it at least once. And all spots on the sequence card are filled with cubes. Then discard 3 city cards matching its cure color at a research station to cure this research. So instead of having to have 5, you have to have 3 of that color at a research station. Move the cure vial to its cure indicator, discard the city cards to the discard player. Discard the sequence card and the cubes to the supply. Sequencing a disease is to start a new one. So draw a sequence card, place it on an empty sequence space, or you can swap it for an existing one. You may not place a sequence card in an empty space until a second research station is built. If a swap sequence card has been characterized and the new sequence card doesn't match its cure vial, discard its characterization. Return its cure vial and the cubes in the test card. This card does match the cure vial. These new cubes on the open to fill out the spots in the middle and return an existing card. Okay. So you move your cubes. You can't put any cubes on these cards until they've been designated as something with a city card.
Good.
In order to fully discover the cure,
The city card has to be
the color
okay.
that you're trying to designate.
Okay.
And when you test it, the city card has to be the same color.
Okay.
You have to test it once to be able to discover the cure. And you have to have everything filled in. And then when you've discovered the cure, in order to do it, you have to be at a research station with 3 more city cards of that same color. So it's still a total of 5 cards of that color. But you turn in 3 to do the cure instead of the 5 that the base game requires.
Okay, and different people can turn in the first 2?
No, it's where somebody has to be at a research station. Remember the base game?
Yeah.
When you cure a thing, you have to be at a research station with 5 cards of that color.
So
Now
this
you
is-
only,
you can
now you
start the
only need 3
process.
cards.
Yeah, a little earlier with 2 of them.
Well, what I'm saying is before one
No,
person
3
had to have
in
5.
addition to those.
Before one person had to have all 5.
Yeah.
But this whole process is going to take a while, right? So 2 people, so somebody else could have these cards down, and then somebody else can have the 3 to finish it. Or
Yeah.
does-
It's a different action.
okay.
It makes
Before
I
it
understand
was hard to try and get 5 to one person.
Yeah, that's So
But here, only 3 of them have to be to one person,
Right.
and then the other 2 can be for somebody else
Bye,
doing
Harold.
stuff here.
That's
Right,
my
because those are
All right, have a good night.
separate actions.
You're gonna buy yourself a plate. Cool. Hopefully it's fun.
We don't have to play this.
No,
No,
we
it's,
don't. You don't have to do that.
So you have all of the base game actions.
Mm-hmm. But then you have lab actions.
And then you have the additional actions, which might be to play a card to designate this cure for something. Or it might be to process your samples, which is where you're moving things around from dish to dish. Or it might be to play a city card to test something. Or your action might be to discover the cure with the 3 cards of a color at a research station.
Okay.
Another action is to draw a new sequence card. So you can have 2 going at one time if you have 2 research stations that are built. So you have to have a second research station before you can start the second line. When you draw a new card, you can either put it in the empty one or you can replace one that's already going.
Okay.
If you replace one that's the same color, like if we have another one that's red, we could replace this red and move all the cubes that are on here onto the new card.
Okay.
So if we draw a card, you know, where we already have what we need, we can swap it out. If it's a card that's a different color, you can still replace that. And then whatever's on it goes to the supply.
Okay. So in this case, it's whatever color we want, but the other ones might just be red.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, depending on what's in there.
But maybe for less resources.
Right.
Yeah, because if they all have that many cubes that you have to collect, we're going to be in trouble. But it also lets you cure every single color in the game. So
It lets you choose which one.
Yeah, this one, it's still only curing red for this. But you can choose.
Right. But you can choose.
Yeah.
But there might be one that only lets you cure red, but it needs
2.
3 or 4.
So then there's extra winning, or the same winning and the same criteria that
Okay.
apply to the base game.
And it's a little tougher because even though we're curing stuff, we might be putting it over here so it's not in supply. If supply runs out, you lose.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you have to keep. You have to.
So there's, extra
More
cubes
management
that you have
that
to
you
manage.
Yeah. You just
Okay.
have to be more careful with how you treat things.
Pretty sure when you, when you process the stuff, so moving it around, you only do one stuff from one petri dish
Makes
is
sense.
your action. And every cube in that dish either moves to the next one or goes back to the supply. You don't leave stuff
Okay.
in the dish.
Okay, so as we treat diseases, they go and you choose which one cube goes into, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you have to be at a research station to do the rest.
And when you build a research station, you can
Take the
immediately
lab
do one lab action as a free one. So it has to be one of
When you
those.
build a research station.
Yeah.
Okay. Got that.
So then we have to, I guess, go back to the base game for the setup.
Yeah, which I have out. I just have to look at it.
So
Yeah, I didn't know what the goal plan was.
we're still,
Because we're going to know the.
we're gonna know, but we're not gonna know what they are, and it'll still be random. This one we're not gonna use. There is no, is that the scientist? Well, it says use the lab versions of epidemiologist and researcher. But there is no epidemiologist. We must have too old of a version. Assuming it's scientist.
Well, or if you're using a different expansion as well, maybe. Like if you're using on the brink.
Well, we don't need the scientist anyway. You need 4 cards of the same color to discover a year.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not applying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna use these.
Or any of, what are these cards for again?
I don't know. It didn't.
Okay.
It must be for the other.
If you don't use the lab
Yeah.
version?
Right. Oh yeah, this is team game bonus. Those I think
Event sequencing breakthrough.
Basically, I just need to know. I mean, I doubt any are getting shuffled in here because they don't match. But
These are team game goals.
These
This
are
is
events.
mutation.
and
So
these
the
aren't.
events we can add in, I guess.
Are they the same background? These aren't. Yeah. Because you
But
have.
still,
Yeah,
I mean, we can if that's. I just want to make sure that's what we're supposed to do before I add them in. I mean, because
It
we have
doesn't
events in here like special event government. So I guess it makes sense to have events.
it says add the 3 new event cards to the other event cards and shuffle them face down.
Okay.
I think we just have a really old version of the base game, and that's probably why
Probably,
the backs
yeah.
don't match.
Are we supposed to add the new virulent strain epidemic cards?
No, we're not playing that challenge. We're playing the lab challenge. Use 2 event cards per player.
But there's 3.
But
Well,
there's some already
total.
in there.
Yeah, it's
So-
a complicated expansion. It's yeah. We'll see how the there's a lot of different expansions, and each of them like change the game quite a bit. It seems
Well,
like.
and within every expansion box that you buy, there's like 8 ways to incorporate that expansion.
Yeah.
So it's like an expansion within an expansion.
It's like
I'm not gonna use those.
Inception.
Here, so we only
3 per player, 2 per player.
so we have 6 possible
there's 8.
rolls.
Check them all out.
Thank you.
I feel like there's too much pressure to shuffle these.
It's all on you.
Shuffling them under the table
Yeah.
because these are the rolls
What if
with
we
different backs.
took all the colored thingies and we just like plop them out at people? Like the meeples that correspond with.
Whatever. I mean,
Then we don't
it's
know.
just gonna be the top 4 or whatever.
Still
so.
don't know. Okay, so
I'm a pilot.
So
We're
we have
dispatching.
1 new roll.
Aww.
That's okay. We probably can't handle much more than that anyway.
So I think we were supposed to get a. Okay.
Yeah, we have to look at the base rules now.
Yeah. Okay. So setup. We have the board set up. We have our disease cubes. We have to figure out where we want to store. Do we want to use the tops of some of these to store them?
Oh, there's tops.
Yeah. So you can keep the tops in one expansion and the bottoms in the other. So we'll just keep our supply.
I feel like this is worth buying just because it has petri dishes and vials.
But you had to get the on the brink for the petri dish.
But I did, so it's okay.
But what if you didn't get it and then
We only need 4
it?
of these.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought I only got it.
Yeah.
I know, that is, I mean, you don't really need it. You could just put them on the squares.
So these we don't have this card yet.
I was just trying
That
to think
is
of
the card we're starting
I
with,
was
but we
just
don't have
trying
a
to
color yet.
think of something to contain them in a little bit, but there's too many of them. But what you can do is you can take the tops and put it in one expansion and the bottoms and put them in another. So you can have petri dishes with both.
They're so cute. Hi, you're cute too.
Trickier than I thought to get over there. This bag didn't quite right. Okay. So there's that. Alright. We can get rid of the rolls that we didn't get. Just sit there for now.
All right.
Alright.
Is
We
there
have to
2 actions,
infect.
right?
Yeah,
I think
first.
you get 4. Right?
4. You're right.
Okay, so I'm green, you're purple, you are orange, and then you have to take your color from the other bag.
starting hand. 4 players, we each get 2 cards. We don't have the epidemics in here yet, right?
One researcher starts with Chicago.
Um,
I think it's Chicago.
Atlanta.
Atlanta? Oh yeah. I'm not sure. I knew that from The Walking Dead too. And then are we still playing with
Okay,
these
each
things?
player starts in Atlanta. The outbreak marker.
They're the same.
Different symbols.
I mean, does it really?
Apparently it
that,
matters.
that don't match this symbol.
This
Do
is
you
the
prefer-
infection rate.
Do you have a
Which I think is the other one.
preference
but
on
whatever.
shade of purple?
It don't matter.
That
This
matches
one is
more.
closer.
Oh, that means I should take the lighter. And we have to infect some cities. These are mine. I think we're supposed to split this into so many piles, right?
You deal out the normal card.
Are we doing introductory, normal, or heroic?
Should probably do introductory or normal since we're adding a whole new level of
Yes.
play.
So we can do 4 piles and 4 epidemic cards.
Half,
Shuffle an
Yeah.
epidemic card into each pile.
half. Just 4.
Unless you want to go crazy and do more than
Mythic?
4.
Big Kappa. Okay, shuffle. Shuffle.
What's mythic?
If you choose to shuffle otherwise.
Did you already shuffle the city cards?
I sort of started to. But
The first 3 cards get 3,